Hey guys, just wanted to pontificate for a minute or two before I step into my day job. I was just sitting here thinking, it's striking me internally and that there are more and more people feeling where I'm coming from and where other people like me are coming from, targeted individuals who have been subject to extreme interference, persecution, harassment, psychological torture, that sort of thing. I seem to think that it's becoming a much more widespread phenomenon, but like always, it's still taboo and it's weird to bring up with people because you never know where that person's mindset is at. Everybody is subject to change in this new reality. There's a lot of people with disingenuous, shady motives, and we're all aware of it. Like, we inherently live in a world that is weirder and harder to pinpoint and harder to bring justice about. Like, this is a time period of censorship, repression, injustice, and quite frankly, just the work of evil that has worked through people in such a way that it's been subtle to those who lack the necessary information or perhaps the intellect or sentience to observe and feel these sort of things in this phenomenon. But I think it's starting to become more clear to people, and people are waking up a bit more. But we all have our emotions to go through. We all have a life that has been basically predetermined for a lot of people, I feel like. I still have to get up and go to work every day and balance all of this like everybody else who's feeling it like I am. But I sense that we are on the precipice of something bigger happening, and it just hasn't revealed itself to me in particular yet. But I sense that the world is shifting, things are lessening, and there's definitely less people on this planet. And we've all just been manipulated to either turn a blind eye or be unaware and misinformed about it. It's not as if, it's not like that type of information would ever make the news for any reason. So I think those who feel it and sense it like I do, we definitely see that there's changes coming of all varieties, and the world that we live in is going to be inherently harder to keep existing in normally as we were. We're going to have to incorporate new ideals, we're going to have to be better people, we're going to have to think of other people, and we're going to have to be proactive and accept that there's going to be weirdness at every turn. Anytime anything productive could come about, expect that your nerves will be tested, expect that your character is going to be tested, and expect that other people are not only going to not understand you, but they very well could be standing in your way of actualizing anything meaningful or of value. We live in a time period of so much technological advancement, but so little personal advancement. Like, this type of interference and technological influence in our lives is only going to stifle us. It's only ever going to cause us to think less and to be less productive as human beings. We're all going to be more reliant on something that is ultimately going to fail. That's the false hope of technology helping the planet. I think we all know deep down that if we had less technology, we'd all be happier and we'd all be safer and better off. There's so many factors in the world that are just swirling. It's such a broad concept, but there's little things that pop out in my mind that strike me as important, so I try to share them as much as I can. And I accept that anybody like me who tries to delve deep and be truthful and discover the facts and make our own informed opinions, we're going to be criticized, stifled, censored, persecuted, and hopefully layered over like we weren't even here. So we have to try to make our mark on history and be on the right side of history now. Now's the time to do that. Now's the time to be a trendsetter, because think about a world where you can't even be yourself. You discover new things and you want to be this new spiritual person who can do things that they want to do that go against what this predetermined, quite frankly, socialist structure is instilling in us. That we are this, we will own nothing, we will be happy about it, we won't complain, we won't rock the boat, we won't do anything controversial. Fuck that logic. I'm just hoping to find people and be real with them in person about this, but that seems to be the impossible task. All of my days of networking with people, it's been more subconscious and subversive, but I'm so ready to go ahead and just break the barrier, because there's very little holding me back from being truthful. There's a lot holding the rest of the world back from being truthful. It's called their personal history, what they do, their lifestyle. It's all been preyed upon and manipulated to be not constructive and not productive, to keep us stuck in this. But ask yourself this question. Be honest with yourself and think, this life and what I'm enduring and what I'm currently balancing to exist, is this what I'm working for? My experience on planet Earth? No. No, we are all living to go somewhere else, obviously. Those who believe, so just view it like that. I view it as this is my character test, this is my test of wits and endurance. I'm going to be miserable at times, I'm going to be disheartened, I'm going to be lacking encouragement, but I see the big picture, and ultimately you have to believe in your own abilities versus the opinions of others. The peanut gallery that's designed to drive you down, to keep you stuck, to make you lack motivation, that's always going to be a presence in our lives. If we're motivated, intelligent individuals, we're always going to have factors that work against us. And as long as we live our life knowing that, then it doesn't interfere with our lives as much. Our lives, rather. But just keep that in mind. It's not a time to lose momentum or steam. It's a time to gain new ability and to realize how profound you truly are. Because if you see things like I do, we see from different perspectives. We are different people. We're not like everybody else. That's why people like me get targeted. That's why we are harassed, persecuted, and interfered with, because we have so much ability, deep down potential, that the evil in the world doesn't want us to actualize it. So we're gonna have to dig deep and accept that things are never gonna be exactly what we think, and we can't predetermine our future in our mind. We're gonna have to roll in the present to make any kind of future possible for people like us, because it's not easy to live in a world where you feel everything and you're expected to be drowned out like everybody else. You're expected to not have an opinion that gets taken into consideration, and you're expected to never speak your mind because that would rock their boat too much. But I say rock the boat, just don't capsize it. Rock the boat, make some waves, but don't capsize it. And allow scrutiny. Allow the scrutiny to happen, because that's your opportunity to use your creativity in a challenging way. I'm hoping just to at least spread the idea that we can acknowledge that the world's fucked and weird, and we can actually be truthful about it. We can mention that we're sad and depressed without it being us being labeled as crazy, because having a depressed, anxious moment in this new reality that I'm personally in, it's an opportunity for people to capitalize on it and view it as weakness. But don't ever do that. Just try to find people that you know and trust, and if you don't know and trust anybody, find somebody new and different that you feel as if you can trust. I feel as if the world is full of familiar strangers that have just yet to meet. So hopefully that's what transpires and we can ride this out, because this is clearly leading to a very, very weird time period, a new earth that's going to be terrible for people who lack adaptability and who lack sentience and emotion. And people that have done a lot of wrong are going to live by the lies. They're not going to embrace the truth ever. So don't live in their false reality bubble. We all have to entertain some form of false reality in this world we live in if we see it on the different level of thinking. But don't dumb yourself down just because the status quo is such. Fuck the status quo. Be different. And I respect you for being different if you are. But that's all I have to say for now. One love.